I understand that I hurt a lot of people's feelings with, my Superman review, because I made a review where, oh yeah, and by the way, I specifically worded the title of the video that way just to let people know that it wasn't going to be, oh my god, it was a great movie, it was so good, that was good, that was good, that was great, that was good. I'm not doing that shit. Like, that's the reason I worded the title that way. I didn't just say Superman review. I said Superman is overrated. That's what I said. So the cat that, you know is already out there. So the thing with this, like, usually, normally, I would go back in the comments and talk shit and all that, but I didn't. Well, now videos like that are videos, but I'm at the point now where, I already established that when you say something that people are not going to agree with, they're going to try to hunt you down, put a banner on your head and all that. You have people who purposely try to find videos that they know they won't like just to talk shit in your comment section. I said all that would happen. And now I'm at the point where, like, I just don't really care anymore because, I said my opinion, and if you don't like it, it is what it is. I'm not going to, well, I'm going to read some comments. I'm not going to read all of them. But again, it is weird to me that people purposely try to find videos that they know they won't like. I mean, I'm open to somebody coming and, looking to debate some of my points. That's fine. But aside from that, like, coming in just blindly hating is weird. But at the same time, like, this is just what happens. This is just a normal process of being a free thinking individual. People will hate you for not being on the same boat as them. Now, as for Superman, like I said, people hyping up the movie and all that is overrated. Overrated, overhyped, it's weak. But I gave it a 7 because of the Justice Gang, and I liked the visuals. It was colorful. Aside from that, like, if I was to take away the Justice Gang and those visuals, I would have gave it a 4. That's how much I didn't really like the movie. Now, aside from all that, like, I must admit, when Les was when he kept saying 1A, 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 it was cringe and hilarious at the same time. I'm like, look at this man child. But anyways, like, I can't be forced. I can't lie to myself and be like, I love this movie and all this shit. I can't lie to myself like that. The movie, it was weak, and it was a weak way to start off your DCU universe. And it's because of this movie. Like I said, I'm not really looking forward to anything else they had to offer outside of the fact that it made me more hyped to see that Supergirl movie, because I felt that this movie could have been her movie. And it's not just that, it also made me more hyped to see the Flash movie. As I said, I do not like Ezra Miller. He was trash. I want to see this DCU Flash though. But at the same time, seeing how, Superman, Crypto, all them was handled, I don't care about another Superman movie. I don't care about a Batman movie. Batman's my favorite hero in DC, by the way. I'm not looking forward to it because apparently Damian is already supposed to be in there. And like, bro, I want to see a solo DCU Batman movie first. And I don't want to be thrown in there with Damian just yet. And it's very clear that James Gunn is making the universe that he wants with the DC characters. And was just the reason you had Crypto, by the way. I felt that Crypto was an insert of his actual dog, looked just like him. And Crypto was very fucking annoying. Like I was so sick of Crypto. And the actual Crypto is not like that. But this Crypto, he's annoying. And they purposely made him Supergirl's dog for obvious reasons. But aside from that, like I was so I was so over that dog. Like Jesus Christ. A lot of the things he had Crypto do, he could have did himself. I'm surprised he didn't do it himself. Like when he destroyed those little cameras and all that, to be honest, like I can't remember how his Hammer of Boravia fight went. I'm not sure those cameras were there. I can't remember, but like Superman would have been figured that out. By the way, but like when he needed Crypto to destroy those cameras, I was like he could have just did that himself. But aside from that, like considering how Crypto was handled and seeing how Damian is supposed to be in there with Batman, I'm not really feeling that. Like to be honest, you probably could have started with this Batman story. You probably could have gave us a Under the Red Hood story. Like we don't need Damian just yet. And the only way you could bring Damian in is if you're throwing him in, because like you know you could give us Nightwing, you could give us Red Hood, you could give us Tim Drake. They're all good, bro. We don't need Damian just yet. To be honest with you, I don't want Damian at all. But if we did have to get Damian, I would prefer him to show it like way later. I don't care about Damian. But aside from that, like I to be honest, I still, there's way too many characters to talk about. And there's another thing, in Superman, there were a lot of characters. But aside from that, like I said, I am more hyped to see Supergirl and Flash. I feel like this universe fits them. Now, as for the Green Lantern thing they got going, seeing Guy Gardner, like at this point, Guy Gardner is already ahead of John Stewart. And the whole point of making Guy Gardner old is to give John Stewart shine. And when you hire somebody as Nathan Fillion, and by the way, Nathan Fillion should have been Nathan Drake in Uncharted. Why the hell did they cast Tom Holland? Back to subject. When you hire Nathan Fillion, like it's not just that he did a good job, but like he did a phenomenal job to the point where now John Stewart has to compete against Guy Gardner, not just as a character but also as an actor. That's how good Fillion was. And at this point now, I'm just questioning like how is this universe going to pan out? Because if anything, that Superman movie felt more of a Justice Gang movie. Justice Gang and Crypto featuring Superman. That's how I felt. But besides that, like, I'm just not really feeling this universe. Like, here I am. I'm giving my reasons. I'm telling you how I feel. And people will still call me a Snyderverse fan. They will still call me a Snyder bot. But regardless, I only keep it real here. And I'm just not feeling this Superman. David Cornsway didn't do a bad job, but that shit that he did the end, where he was trying to tell, when he was giving that speech about being a human and all that shit, it just felt like something straight out of like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel or some shit. It was just so cringe. But aside from that, like, as I said, I just don't know how to feel about this universe. Like this Superman movie kind of just left me empty. So as I said, it was a weak way to start the universe, and now I just want to see specific characters that I'm usually not interested, that I usually don't care about, before characters that I usually would want to see. And besides all this, I know that Supergirl comes out next year, and my question is, when is Flash going to come out? Like that's where I'm at with this. Like I really want to see that Flash movie. And maybe it could be, aside from, Superman, maybe it could be because I hate Ezra Miller's Flash. He was trash. But the only thing we can do at this point is hope for the best and, maybe get better movies. But the last thing I want to say is James Gunn is overrated.